They were math guys, they were numbers guys, they were stats guys. And there's an arrogance to math. Like, we're right and you're wrong. Like 2 and 2 equals 4. I do not care what you say. It does not equal 5. And there is an arrogance amongst those people who think linearly.
So you speaking of Trackman, so when Trackman first kind of established itself as a thing, you kind of took some shots at it, like people are like utilizing it too much or blah blah blah.
Well, what I took shots with, yeah, absolutely. And I think, first of all, it's very important to take your opinions out every day and kick them around and see if they stand up, because what I think today is hopefully going to be different than what I think tomorrow. So I've come 180 degrees on Trackman, but initially I was repulsed by the whole atmosphere around Trackman, because mostly it was the Stack and Tilters, and it was Sean Foley, who was an acolyte of Stack and Tilt. And they, they had they were math guys, they were numbers guys, they were stats guys. And there's an arrogance to math. Like, we're right and you're wrong. Like 2 and 2 equals 4. I do not care what you say. It does not equal 5. And there is an arrogance amongst those people who think linearly. And they came to golf, and golf, it was in the early stages of science and so forth. But I didn't know exactly how their theories were flawed, but I knew them to be flawed. I knew they were wrong because I looked at all the Stack and Tilters, and I looked at the people that Sean Foley was working with, and I looked at their numbers, and I knew they weren't the best. I knew they didn't hit it the highest and the straightest and the longest, and they weren't the most precise with these irons and those irons and these irons. I knew they weren't the best. And then I looked at the best players of all time. I was like, none of them do these things. Page 12 of the Golf Machine, it's this very complicated book that basically, if you look at it, has every iteration of the golf swing someone could make. It's very complicated, and people wanted me to believe the very specific information in that book. And yet it gets the simplest thing about the golf swing wrong. On page 12, it says the head should be stationary. There's not a single great player that's ever played this game where the head didn't move either off and up or off the golf ball. It moves, the head moves, it does not stay centered. And they got that piece of information wrong. So it's like, I'm sorry, I can't believe any of the rest of that book. But I have taken that book to, engineers and scientists, and I have in my phone all the things that are wrong with that book in here. And when I run into those people, I can just scroll through and go, well, this.
I've heard a little story from the fireside chat, a little bit.
Yeah. But I only knew that Trackman was associated with these teachers. And again, these teachers didn't have malicious intent, but they were dogmatic in their views. Very dogmatic. Like they said, we're right, you're wrong. I remember doing an outing, you're outing at Bandon Dunes,